Hello, everyone. We are here with episode 5 of Killer Con. We are here for our Horror Saturdays every Saturday, 5 p.m. Central. If you are here for horror, drop your knives in the chat. We are going to talk horror today, and we are going to talk my favorite horror, bad horror. We are talking bad horror today. Thank you so much to everyone who has shown up for this live. And shout out to Miriam and shout out to Josh G, who just became channel members. If you want exclusive content and other perks, make sure you are a channel member. And let's see, we have Ryan here. Thank you, Ryan, for being here in the live. Feels Creepy Videos. Thank you so much to everyone who is here with us live. Make sure you hit like on the video. Make sure you check out all of our panelists. So let's go ahead and bring them out. If you a nerd, then this girl is for you. She is all things nerd blurred. Welcome, Miss Kay Bly from the Fifth Wall. Hey, Kay.
Hey.
You ready to talk some bad horror?
Oh, I know you are, so I made sure I had to have a list.
Now, if you are into 70s horror and naked women bloodied up in the 80s horror, then she is going to be for you, okay? Because she lives for the nudity in horror in the 80s and the 70s. Miss Tyra, Struggle Reviews TV.
Hello. Why I couldn't get the introduction cake and I got to get naked 70s Gucci? I am, though. Nudity and horror go neck and neck. If there's no titties, I don't want to watch it. Hello, everybody.
And we have someone new to the channel, okay? Make sure y'all give a big welcome to one half of our Life in Horror. Brandon, thank you for being here with us.
Oh, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very excited to talk about some bad horror movies.
Yes. Oh, I love bad horror. Oh, it's nothing like a bad horror movie. Okay. Thank you, My Sweet Perspective, for the super sticker. Love you, girl. We just did a live together, guys, talking about the crazy dirty pop, which is horror in and of itself. So make sure y'all check that out if you haven't. But let's get into Killer Con and get into all things bad horror, okay? Let's kick this off, and our first topic is, what are we sick of seeing in horror? Because when you talk bad horror, you got to talk about all the things in horror that you are just sick of. I know personally, I am so sick of terribly written characters. Oh my God, I am so sick of characters like in Thanksgiving and Tarot and the Inheritance. Can we get good characters, please? And adding the dog and the cat just to kill them off. And the thing that takes me out, and they just did it in The Strangers Chapter 1. Can we please, horror, can we stop doing the shot where the killer is standing behind somebody and they don't know it? Like, it's played out. It's played out. Kay, what are you sick of seeing in horror?
Teen angst. I'm tired of snotty nose attitude, having children. That gets on my nerves. And love. No, if I'm running from Jason, I ain't got time to be busting it down and busting it open. Okay, I'm running. We don't after when the coast is clear, then we can get back to that. But right now, if my life is at stake, no, I don't have time for the love making in the horror scene. Stop it.
They always gonna find time for that, child. Look at it like they got a moment where they have to stare at each other, and it's like, baby, ain't somebody trying to kill y'all? Tyra, what are you sick of seeing in horror?
But first, there's always time to get some in the woods when the killer's coming, okay? If we're not going to get it now, we're not going to get it later. We're going to get killed. We might as well do it. Hello. It's always time for that. Keep those scenes in. I'm tired of the over exposition for our villains, our monsters, our killers. There seems to be a reason, like we have to have a reason why this killer is doing what they're doing, and now we have to give all this backstory. I don't need that. I like a little layer of mystery, and I wish we could go back to that instead of dedicating 30 minutes of a film to explaining to us why this killer or this monster is so monstrous. They can have that. I never want to see nobody believe in the protagonist. It really like rocks my world when it's just like such and such is happening and the adjacent person is like, I believe you. I was like, oh, good. We ain't got to spend no time in this story convincing others of what's going on. And something played out. I don't know what I was watching last night, but I thought we were out of the, oh, we're going to split up. Like, let's split up. Like, please don't say that anymore in horror movies. I'm tired of people splitting up just to die. We can do more creative things than that, as well as being a little bit, which I know is hard, which is why we always are getting into what Nikki hates, going back into those 70s and 80s genre of horror to make an excuse as to why we don't have internet access or, phone service. So I'm hoping that we can use more creative outlets to get into why we might not have any service or access to some internet. But, that's it.
I'm with you on every single solitary thing on that list. And I hate the splitting up. And I feel like they don't even necessarily say let's split up exactly, but they'll find a reason to say, hey, you stay here and I'll go XYZ. I'm just like, oh my God, why are we still doing that? Like, why y'all can't go in there together? Like, it's not that hard. It's power and strength in numbers. Brandon, what are you sick of seeing in horror?
Well, to piggyback off of Tyra's there, poor character decisions. Like you said, the splitting up. We were watching Something in the Water a couple nights ago, and a group of 4 girls that are swimming in the water, stuck there stranded, and the one girl's like, okay, I'm going to go swim for help, and just completely leaves the pack. And there's just so many bad character decisions in that movie alone that it just kind of drove me nuts. Another thing is this legacy sequel kind of era that we're kind of in and hopefully leaving soon, with bringing back old characters just to almost bash their name a little bit, like with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 there with by Netflix, where they bring back Sally the original girl, just to have her essentially killed off and be useless in the movie. It just drove me and Sam nuts. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, pointless jump scares are starting to, they're just like almost like a stigma of Blumhouse now at this point. You're gonna get the false cat, and then you're gonna get the guy behind the mirror, and it's just sickening. Like, have them set up, be effective. Like, it's good, because I showed Sam Jaws the other day for the first time. She'd never seen it. And the famous jump scare in that movie with the head popping out of the boat, it scared her, but that was a successful setup for a jump scare, and there's only 2 jump scares in that whole movie, and that's what's effective. You don't get one every 30 seconds in these new horror movies, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we are going to get into jump scares, because y'all know that is something horror just will not let die. But what I'm surprised no one said is, I when I think about it, I'm also sick of horror having to give us the trauma storyline with the lead character. I know I just saw that in The Watchers and the horror movie Baghead, but we talked about Something in the Water, one of our previous episodes, when we were talking about Black people in horror. Something in the Water made me mad, because the one Black lady had to die first, and I don't know why horror's still doing that, but I'm gonna definitely add that to the things that I'm sick of seeing in horror. Why horror still loves a jump scare. We talk about bad horror and all the icks of horror that we're sick of. Now, I do love a jump scare. I do. And sometimes I can even love a bad jump scare, because I just feel like jump scares are part of the bells and whistles of horror. And as someone who likes to watch bad horror movies, like, that can kind of make it fun. But when it comes to horror where I actually want a good movie, I feel like the jump scare to an extent is kind of played out, especially when they do the jump scare with like the booming music, and it's like the typical build, exactly where something is about to pop out from. And the cat jump scare, oh my God, I am so sick of the cat jump scare. Tyra, why does jump scares have the horror genre in the chokehold? Why does horror love a jump scare?
I mean, that's the easiest, most generic way to get a rise out of the audience. I don't know I think we're desensitized. There has to be a market out there for some people still jumping at these jump scares. Because otherwise, why would we still be putting them there? I think because we watch it so much, we anticipate it. So it's just like we're sitting there, oh, look, it's a jump scare setup. Oh, God. Like, because I've been in the movies, when I pay to go to the movies. And there's a horror, like everybody will be like, oh, and I'm just sitting there like, y'all didn't know that was coming. So I was like, maybe that jump scare just isn't there for me. But I'm not going to act like the medicine cabinet mirror jump scare isn't old as hell. The bird jump scare, the cat, the dog, my flashlight is just conveniently going out. And when I cut it on, there's going to be somebody standing there. Like it's really, really played out. But I just feel like some people feel like they can't make a concise horror movie without at least a few jump scares. And that's why the few that we do have without any, or it's just like, oh my God, this is an amazing horror because they only managed to do one jump scare the whole time, which should not be the thing. I think if you're relying on jump scares, then your script is probably subpar.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue. It's like they rely on jump scares for their scare tactic in the movie. It's like you really have no real tension or suspense or a real atmosphere that's going to really get to the audience. So hey, let's just make a cat jump out. Like that's the easy way. Brandon, are you sick of jump scares?
Absolutely. I think jump scares they just lack so much creativity. It's something that I think is a failsafe for a lot of these horror movies, especially these Blumhouse like PG-13, like Imaginary and Night Swim that just came out this year as well. It's like a go-to. Like even knowing Sinister was a good movie and directed by a great person, that movie is filled to the brim with jump scares. But I think that those are effective jump scares. I'd like to go back to like The Exorcist 3 at the end of the film, where you get this long drawn out scene of the orderly locking the door, and you see him lock the door, and then he turns around, and then boom, there's a person that comes out. It's a jump scare, like by the numbers jump scare, but it's effective because we got to see that scene drawn out for so long. We didn't know what was gonna like eventually happen. It's just so sad that people are just resorting to a jump scare just to get a rise out of the audience, and hopefully they'll be like, oh, that was so scary, now my movie's successful.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned Exorcism 3. I love that movie, and I feel like that's my favorite type of jump scare. I like when you kind of have an anticipation as opposed to just like Tyra said, when we're watching something like, oh, we know they're setting something up. But I like when there's more of an anticipation. And I like the jump scare where you kind of don't know where to look. You didn't know where something was going to come from, or you get your eye diverted one way and the scare comes from another place. Kay, does horror need to let jump scares die?
I don't think it needs to let jump scares die. I think it needs to be a payoff. I don't mind a jump scare if somebody's actually coming out with the jump scare. Like if it's a jump scare and it's whoever the monster or the villain is, it should definitely be there. What was that? Was it like Exorcism 3 or 4? That one jump scare scene in the hospital? That was brilliant. That's what like made that movie stand out, because it was a meaningful jump scare. Like you literally get this one camera angle, the camera is not moved, and they're just walking around the hospital until that one door opens and that like ghost lady just like walks past. That was like really creepy, but it was a jump scare that paid off. So if you're gonna do it, like make it count.
Yeah. Like Brandon said, that was one of the great jump scares.
Mhm.
The worst decade of horror. Now, I always hear people talk about the best decade of horror, and I'm not even gonna get into that because y'all know where I stand. Kay, what was the worst decade of horror and why? I personally think we got gems in every decade, but what do you think was the worst decade?
This one.
This one's barely begun.
Because I mean, I kept thinking back to like a decade where I didn't like the movies. I'm like, okay, no, I like, a 70s horror. I like, okay, no, I like 80s, 90s was real good too. That's when I grew up. The 2000s had some good stuff. Even in the 2020 so far is not hitting on nothing for me. Like there within these last 4 years so far, I, it's not, I don't know. It's the horror is not, it's not been hitting in the past few years for me.
Brandon.
I I I'm kind of with you in the same boat. I don't think these 2020s have been bad so far. I think last year was probably a little lackluster, but I think was it 2022? It was year was just full of amazing. Whatever year Smile came out, and Nope was just that year was amazing for horror. But like you said, Nikki, I appreciate a lot of like movies from every decade, so it's really hard for me to pick out a worst. I would say I'm not going to say this is the worst decade because I think it gave us a lot, but I think the 90s is kind of like the lost decade. Like other than like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Tremors, Army of Darkness, Leprechaun, like you don't really know Candyman, I guess too. You don't really know a whole lot of what was really going on in that decade. Like I'm sure there was a lot, but that's my least known decade. I think I could name hundreds of movies from the other ones, but like the 90s is just one I haven't ventured into. So I'm gonna say that just because I haven't seen a lot or heard a lot of people bringing up movies from that decade.
Oh, I gotta put you on game, Brandon, because we got some gems in the 90s. Tyra.
The 90s.
Oh Lord. Here come the hater.
You already know it was going to be the 90s. Now, I can't, like, and I love the 90s. I can find something in every decade, because if you're just waiting for, cinematically for things to be released for good horror, you're not going to find anything. Most of the good horrors are like foreign, independent, and I can find that to be true for like a bunch of the decades. But the 90s just fall short because, first of all, we were picking back off of the 80s. And everything was part 2, part 3, part 4 of, a Psycho, a Child's Play, something like a Tremors, or everything wanted to be Scream. Once we, got into bringing back the slasher, then everything wanted to be Scream, or it was piggybacking off of something we knew. Like, and I love the faculty, but the faculty is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Scream, that, teen, even, and I love these movies, but there was a lot of teen angst of, the Cherry Falls, the disturbing behavior, the crap. We were walking down a whole lot of hallways, we were with teenagers like every 5 minutes, even, with something comical like Idle Hands. There was just a lot of teenage. And then you have the Screams, the urban legends, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I know you, like, it just seems like there was a lot of the same, and it was just kind of like this lost decade. There are some gems there, but for my money, it's always going to be the 90s.
Yeah, I do feel like the 90s was having a little shaky time trying to find an identity with horror as far as their style. But man, I love Domestic Disturbance, and I love them. And we just talked about Demon Knight, Last Killer Con. I feel like that is such an iconic classic movie. I love 90s, and maybe because that was kind of my formative years of watching horror, I feel very connected to 90s horror. But y'all know my least favorite decade of horror is gonna be the 80s, because they were so cheesy and campy, and I feel like it's too much for me. It's the 80s gets into ridiculous territory for me, and I just can't take it seriously. And of course, when we talk about bad horror movies, there are some horror movies that we just like, you know what, I'm not even wasting my time with that movie. And I should have stuck with not wasting my time when it came to Strangers Chapter 1, but I just knew that movie could not be as bad as everybody made it out to be. But I refuse to watch found footage. I hate found footage. If it is found footage, it can go burn in hell. Comedy horror, as soon as I find out something is comedy, I'm like, yep, nope, I'm gonna skip that. Any of the Friday the 13th franchise, yep, refuse to watch. I'm gonna skip that. I feel like that is the worst horror franchise. And I know I'm gonna get killed in death threats.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
You're
that first Friday the 13th is so stupid. Like, we popping up dead and nobody even know anything going on, and all of a sudden grandma come out, and I'm just like, wait, what? I don't know. That movie is so ridiculous to me. But I'm not gonna watch Fear Street because I can't stand teenagers. I'm not gonna watch anything with no
really good. Fear Street was really good.
I don't have time for teenagers. They get on my nerve. I'm not gonna watch anything with no racism, slave, like Soft and I heard Soft and Quiet is such a hard watch. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. Um, Brandon, what are some horror movies you just refuse to watch?
I'll usually try to give everything a go. I think the movies that I refuse to watch are usually low quality. Like my other half loves buying straight to DVD. I call it horror trash because these are like you get them for like $1 in used pawn shops and stuff like that. She loves it, and God, I love her for that. But those are movies that I just will refuse to watch. Basically, when she buys one, I'm like, "Yeah, that's a you movie. You can go have fun with that. I'm gonna go over here and watch whatever." So yeah, just low quality. It doesn't matter a decade or era because I'll usually try to give it a go. Any more sexploitation movies also, like, the rape revenge is, as I've grown older, I've noticed they've started to affect me a lot more than what they did when I was younger. I used to be able to watch them okay, and now it's like, ooh, this is kind of making my stomach a little queasy, and maybe it's time to take a break on those. But just usually like to slow down on them.
Okay.
I'm not watching Human Centipede. I'm not doing it.
Oh, that movie was actually a lot of fun.
I'm not gonna do it. Nope. Cause why? I'm trying to figure out what the point is. I don't even know. I don't even care what the point is. I'm not gonna watch Human Centipede. Contrast to popular opinion, but I'm not trying to watch Terrifier either. Cause I don't do clowns. I don't do clown outside of it. It is probably that's other than that, I'm not. I don't do clowns. I don't care to see the rest of the X franchise because I ain't even really finished the first one, so I'm good on that. I don't care about the Jeepers Creepers, other sequels or anything like that. The first two, anything after that, I'm not gonna watch those either.
Now, I typically will kind of be like, you know what? I'm a little curious, and I did see Human Centipede. Yeah, I wish I would have never. Tyra.
I'll literally watch anything. Like, how do I know I don't want to watch it unless I watch it? I can say like, "Who watch that?" I never want to watch it again, but I will literally watch anything. And I mean, like, from the Human Centipedes to the Terrifiers to the Raw to something like Titan to the Rape Revenge movies. I think some of my first horror movies were, the original Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes. You know my genre, so my tolerance is pretty high. I notice a lot of people put what I'm not going to watch list is just due to how gruesome it is or sexual violence towards women. I'm okay. I'll watch anything.
Tyra say, "Tell them women up. I'm here for it."
I'll watch anything.
And now we are going to get into Guess the Bad Movie segment. I thought this would be fun. And of course, bad is subjective. I actually kind of like every movie on this bad list outside of A Quiet Place Day One, because that was the worst thing I ever saw in my eyes was bleeding. But basically how this goes is I am going to read bad reviews, and you guys have to tell me which movie is the review for. Is it for Scream 3 or A Quiet Place Day One? And y'all know no Scream 3 slander shall prosper on my channel. I love Scream 3. But I chose movies that are more universally considered a bad movie. And unfortunately, my baby Scream, it made the cut. Okay, so let's get into the first review. Does it bring anything new to the table in the franchise? Hell no, but it is entertaining throughout. Kay, is that review for A Quiet Place Day One or Scream 3?
That can't be A Quiet Place. I was not entertained throughout. So if that is A Quiet Place, they lying. That can't be A Quiet Place. I'm gonna have to guess Scream on that one.
That is actually for A Quiet Place Day One.
Where? What part?
Yes, that was actually a Quiet Place Day one.
That's a lie.
Okay, the next review. This franchise gets weaker each time. The plot was convoluted and relied too heavily on typical horror cliches. Brandon, which movie do you think that is for?
That sounds like Scream 3 to me.
Yep, that is Scream 3. You got it right. Okay, our next review. Lazily written sequel trying to ride the coattails of the previous two movies' success. It felt like a Hollywood standard cash grab. Tyra.
That could be either one of these.
That's the point.
I know it was hard. You come back to the guy Brandon's or K's. A Quiet Place Day one.
You got it right.
Okay. Lord. Pressure off.
Yeah, both three, the third movie in the sequel. Now we have Thanksgiving and Scream 5. Now I hate Thanksgiving, child. But I love Scream 3. But let's see. It looks like ChatGPT wrote the script. The acting is subpar and the story is forgettable. Brandon, which movie do you think that's for?
Oh, that's super tough. I think I'm gonna go with Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I actually really like Thanksgiving. I thought it was a blast.
Me too.
I hated those characters. Oh my
I
god.
did
It
too.
was funny.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to like any of Eli Ross written's
Did you
characters.
remember that freaking intro in the hard electronic store? I was like, oh, I already know what kind of movie this is.
Oh, I did like the intro. And yes, you're right, Brandon. L. Roth cannot write good characters to save his damn life. The next one. How does a movie as mediocre as this get so much praise? You would be better off staring at a wall for 2 hours. K.
Wait, which Scream is that?
5.
Read the review again.
How does a movie as mediocre as this get so much praise? You would be better off staring at a wall for 2 hours.
Scream.
You are correct, ma'am. The only slightly amusing part was the reveal of the killer. What a joke this film is. The characters were all annoying. Tyra.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. The characters part gave it away.
They were.
Next review. Such a trash movie because the cast had to be woke and diverse. Why is this hyped? Worst movie ever. Brandon.
I'm gonna say that's Scream.
Brandon, are you cheating?
No.
Yes, that is correct. How is Brandon blowing this out the water? What is going on?
Professional. Thank you.
Late Night with the Devil and The First Omen. I did not care for either one of these, so I'm fine with them being on the bad list. First review. It just isn't a scary story. Despite attempts at tension, the plot feels uninspired. K.
Read the first part again. Because I caught the last part and I think I know, but let me hear the first part again. Wait.
It just isn't a scary story. Despite attempts at tension, the plot feels uninspired.
I don't know. Maybe Late Night with the Devil?
Maybe you are correct, ma'am.
Because I feel like that was supposed to try and scare us, but I don't think we were supposed to be scared watching.
Yeah, I agree. There was a mystery that kept you watching, but zero scares. Please just let the devil take them. Brandon.
I haven't seen The First Omen yet, so I haven't. I don't have any opinion. I haven't seen anything about it. But I'll go with The First Omen.
How the hell you ain't see the movie, but you got it right?
It's a prequel at this point. You know, you're kind of getting the same.
We'll take them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the devil was in both of these movies because they ain't no telling who they wanted the devil to take.
Really, we don't know what that was in Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
Cult. That. I don't know what was happening.
The film fails to leave a lasting impression. Possession has never been so boring. They got the 70s right, and that is about it, Tyra.
You know what? You're doing this on purpose. You're giving me the hard ones on purpose. The 70s.
They were both in the 70s.
I know. Give me the question again, please, Alex.
Which one did I read? Okay. The film fails to leave a lasting impression. Possession has never been so boring. They got the 70s right, and that's about it.
When they were pinpointing the 70s, because the first Omen, it was set in the 70s, but we weren't really like in the 70s. Like if they didn't have that disco scene, we could have been anywhere. I'm gonna go with Late Night with the Devil.
You finally got something right, girl.
All of my questions have been right. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I'm just messing with you. A couple of good jump scares, but overall just did not hit the mark. Spent too much time on the 70s aesthetic and not enough time on the story. Kay.
That got to be Late Night with the Devil.
It sure is, ma'am. Now, see, that one was pretty easy.
But the music during the little breaks I like that though. Whoever did the score.
So you riding with the AI folks. They put that little AI in them little breaks.
What is Talk to Me on the bed?
Because it's a bad movie.
It's not. I love Talk to Me.
No, that was aggravating. I'm with you on this one, Nikki. Them kids get on my nerves the whole time.
So good.
Oh no. Because that whole movie did not have to happen. All that stuff did not have to happen. Like that was a movie that was completely preventable. So I like the movies that something happened.
Most horrors are like this was a really great movie. Like I love it. Y'all trash.
Them kids in this movie trash.
Okay, the first review, a heap of trash. These possession movies are so predictable. Cram in a bunch of different genders and races, bad from beginning to end. This is not a movie. It's a short story. Okay.
Ooh, that could be either one of those. Because is that the Exorcist Believer?
Yes.
I don't know. Because people didn't like those both was both black led, so I don't know it. This one.
I was so annoyed at the reviews that would be being mad because the characters were black, and apparently if you hire a black person, the movie is woke. I was like, what in Lord?
But come on, maybe Talk to Me because they also had an Asian in there.
You are correct. It is Talk to Me. This film is an insult. Stop letting this man make films, Brendan.
Oh, that's the Exorcist Believer.
Yeah, I gave you an easy one.
Oh yeah.
This man.
Yeah.
Hey, men may talk to me.
Why she go with two men though? These men, this man, different.
Starts off interesting, but the film takes a nose dive into generic bow. The generic plot builds up to a climax that is incoherent in every conceivable way. Tyra?
Exorcist Believer.
Yeah, girl.
Y'all gonna stop playing. Nothing on this list is pertaining to Talk to Me. Talk to Me is good. I don't care if it is Talk to Me. I'm gonna say Exorcist Believer.
I'll take Exorcist Believer over this because I can't with them kids.
I'm telling you, I could not. But I ain't never having kids because of horror movies.
Ested over Ellen Burstyn for what? For what? No, bye.
The real evil is this film. This movie was a waste of time and pointless. Just bad acting and no plot. Okay.
Wait, say the first part again. Because the second part, hold on, I think I might know. So do the first part again.
The real evil is this film.
Bad acting. I don't know. Just based on my opinion, I actually liked the acting in Exorcist Believer, and I did not like the acting in Talk to Me. So,
Some of the best acting I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Some of the best acting you ever seen. Tyra, get off the panel.
Just like that. I said that better be Exorcist Believer.
Well, what is your final answer, Kay?
Talk to Me.
You are correct, ma'am.
Oof.
But I will say, them kids could act. I don't know why they said bad acting. Them kids could act.
Not better than Leslie Odom.
Oh.
I did think, you know what? M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh dear.
Now I like The Happening now.
These are bad. These are
no. Take The Happening off of here.
Anything with the shamalama ding dong on it is poor.
Take The Happening off.
No, Unbreakable. You give me Unbreakable, Split, and Sixth Sense. Everything else can go.
I'm still mad that man had a knife on the beach in Old, but whatever the hell. Let's move on. After Lady in the Water, I said I would never waste my time with his movies again, but I broke my vow with this movie, and I'm sorry I did. Intriguing concept, but the movie is a mess, Tyra.
That could be either one of these. Intriguing concepts, but the movie is a mess. Just mess. At least there was some type of cohesion for Old. The Happening is a terrible film. Please be The Happening. If it's not, just lie to me anyway. Is it The Happening?
It's Old, honey.
Somebody had to get one wrong first. It was me.
Too slow and full of annoying, overused scenes. I was bored to death. I grew old watching Old.
Wow.
Obviously, we know the answer to that, so I'm gonna go to the next review. I just wanted to read that because I thought it was funny. Because I actually said that in my review a few years ago. I said I grew old watching Old, so I just thought it was funny. This person said that. Okay, the real question. I was absolutely certain the terrible dialogue and choppy deliveries were for some good, grand purpose to be revealed, since it seemed honestly too poorly acted and poorly written to not be setting up some brilliant outcome. But nope, nothing tied together. Brendan.
Oh, that could be either or. The dialogue delivery in Old is so bad, but then you got Marky Mark and whoever the other female lead is. I can't remember what her name is, but she was just deer. Yeah, she was just deer in the headlights the whole time.
Okay, but John Leguizamo was doing his thing in that movie.
Oh, I love John Leguizamo.
Yeah, he was the only one acting in that movie. Shit. I'm gonna go with Old.
God damn it! How you get everything right?
It's that one character in Old whose just line deliveries were so bad he stood out to everybody. At least in The Happening, everybody was equally bad.
Wow.
But there's just that one guy in Old who was just off the rails bad.
How would Mark Wahlberg run around? Guys, like, how?
So y'all wasn't feeling The Happening. This is news to me.
Hey, The Happening is a terrible film.
I like it.
It's fun if you go into it not expecting to be scared. Like, you can get a good laugh out of Mark Wahlberg having his little breakdowns.
This isn't a movie you watch. It is a movie you survive. Tyra.
The Happening.
Yep.
Thank you. Barely made it out. Watched it once, never again.
I watch this every time I see it come on TV. Well, I'm a watch.
You have questionable judgment, Kay. It's okay.
Enjoyably bad. Each time I watch this, I am blown away by how bizarre it is. Kay.
I want to say The Happening because I watched that several times. But now, if you watch Old more than one time, you setting yourself up. Who watching that multiple times?
Me.
Is it Old?
It is The Happening.
Okay, that's what I'm like. Who? Because I watched that one over and over. The old got one watch out of me, and that's it. That's right, Dane. The happening was fire. I knew somebody agreed with me. Thank you for showing up.
Dane's a troll. He's doing that out of he's a troll. It's trolling behavior at best. Don't come in here lying, Dane. I love you too much. Don't do that. Oh gosh.
More Shyamalan.
Now the village wasn't that. I don't. The village is a classic.
Now I'm kind of with you on this one, Kay. I don't think The Village is terrible.
It just didn't go the way we thought it was, but I mean, it wasn't that bad initially.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog. There were a few standout acting performances, but otherwise, I wasn't into it. Even laughed out loud at some of the moments that I'm pretty sure were supposed to be the most terrifying moments of the movie. Tyra.
Knock at the Cabin.
The Village, honey.
I was the only one laughing at Knock at the Cabin. That's fine.
I love that person started their review with "It's a no from me, dog." It was nice to go to the theater and watch a movie. That was it. This is a thought experiment which inevitably leads to frustration. Kay.
Somebody went to the theater. Was Knock at the Cabin in the theater?
It was. It was.
Every M. Night Shyamalan movie was in the theater, child.
Oh, I thought that was straight to Prime Video.
I saw Knock at the Cabin in the theaters like a buffoon.
I'm gonna say Knock at the Cabin because I didn't even know people was going. Maybe they thought it was gonna be good because it was a book.
You are correct, ma'am. An hour passed and I was bored. However, the ending is such a good twist that it hooked me. Brandon.
I'm gonna go with The Village.
Brandon, get the hell off the panel with your sorcery. Brandon is over here doing some kind of juju or I don't know.
You said ending twist.
What's the prize? Who keeping score? What is the prize for winning? Do I get like a King Nikki coffee mug or something?
No.
You get to keep your horror card. That's what you get. That's what
Can we get some prize tumblers? Even though clearly it's already a winner been declared. So
because Brandon is in cahoots with the horror gods or something. I don't know what's happening over there.
You gotta give him the juggernauts and stop giving them to me.
Okay, this finna get hard because you got Alien and Alien. Okay, so let's see how the sorcery works for Brandon in this one. Let's see. A total disaster of a film. I wasn't even scared of the alien. A god-awful mess and insulting to the franchise. Tyra.
Alien versus Predator.
You are correct, ma'am.
I knew that one.
why? I love this one.
Of course you do. Okay.
AVP. What is this?
I mean, between the two, like an insult to the franchise, it would have definitely been Alien versus Predator.
No, that's a
payoff
standout for me. If
that
anyone that I watch repeatedly, I'm gonna watch AVP.
Us fans were waiting years after Predator 2 for them to finally have their standoff, and they did not deliver.
Oh my God. The characters are so stupid. I wanted the aliens to win. A very bad, boring, and uninventive rehash of the previous films. All the same beats, scenes, and utterly stupid. Okay.
I know what that is.
I'm not sure if I remember. I keep confusing Covenant for the other one that I can't think of. Yes, I've confused them too. So
this is the one without Fine Behind Idris Elba.
I don't know. I don't remember that one. Maybe AVP.
No, ma'am. This is Alien Covenant.
I knew that one. Shit came to me a second time. I could have upped the ante and been over there with Brandon. I could have been in the winner's circle.
has the structure of a bad horror movie in a nearly laughable setting. Some of the ideas could have led somewhere interesting, but since it's non-canon, you come for the action and stay for the kills.
It's AVP, and the action was awful.
You are correct, sir.
Yep.
Can you just go ahead and mute him out for the rest of the game?
Don't be hating, Jay. We gotta can be sort of.
I really don't know how Brandon is blowing this out the water.
The canon gave it away because AVP is not canon to any of the other films.
Yeah.
The movie should be called How to Destroy a Franchise, Tyra.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Now, I threw you a bone with that one. That one is easy.
She keeps doing it. She keeps doing this. How to destroy a franchise.
That's easy, Tyra.
No, it's not, because everybody has different feelings on these things. Some people, clearly Kay, some people love AVP. I'm going to go with AVP.
Now, see, I tried to throw you a bone. It's Alien Covenant.
What bone did you throw me? What was the bone?
Alien versus Predator is 2 franchises, so the title would have been How to Kill 2 Franchises instead of How to Kill a Franchise.
You threw me a bone, and then your dog baby buried it in the backyard. Thanks for nothing. Okay, move on.
It's not as if this film is terrible the whole way through. It starts off okay, and the first act is fine, and all the way through to the third. We meet characters and have a bit of intrigue, but once the action starts, those same characters and intrigue are thrown out of the window and the film crumbles. Kay.
I don't know. Is it Covenant?
Now, this one was easy.
I was going to say, you could have gave me that one.
What?
Maybe because I don't like all this bad stuff going on with AVP. Okay, I thought this movie was good throughout. I don't know what the bad part is. Y'all tripping.
That was Alien versus Predator, girl.
They lying.
I knew that one.
And now we are going to get into horror trivia. Brandon clearly won the last game. Which movie debuted Jason's famous hockey mask? Kay, you all about this franchise.
3.
You are correct, ma'am.
I know Jason Voorhees.
You really put Jason.
Where's the little buzzer sign? I need a bell or something. I need an alarm.
What was Randy's favorite horror movie, Tyra?
Here you go with Scream, the franchise I hate the most. Okay.
Halloween, Showgirls, or Friday the 13th. Is Halloween your final answer?
Is my final answer.
That is incorrect, ma'am. He said it was Showgirls. Absolutely frightening.
What was they watching at the function at the party?
They was watching Halloween, but he did not say that was his favorite horror movie.
That lazy shot in the video store when he's talking to Billy.
When Randy gets his one and only Ghostface call in Scream 2, and Ghostface says, "What's your favorite scary movie?" He says, "Showgirls."
What? I hate it here. That's fine.
What was Stu's motive, Brandon? His mom left? Peer pressure? Revenge?
I need a gavel.
I think it was peer pressure, right?
You are correct.
Brandon, cut your camera off.
Brandon, this is Nikki. She's feeding him. I'm over it.
I'm not feeding him anything.
I'm over it.
Cut
Okay?
the camera off, cut the mic off. Just come back in like 15 minutes.
Who won the final showdown in Freddy versus Jason? Was it A, Freddy, B, Jason, or C, the big-chested white girl? Tyra, I'm throwing you a bone.
Who won?
Yes.
Nobody won. Like, everybody was still on it.
Is nobody one of the answers on the screen?
Fine. I'm going to go with Freddy.
Jesus, girl. It's the big-chested white girl.
She didn't win nothing. Who won? Everybody was
She
alive.
won in the end.
We're gonna go with the last shot of Freddie winking in the end.
You are correct, Tyra. I'm just messing with you.
Keep
Yes,
on
it
playing
is.
with me. When titties win, it's the end of horror. Go to the next question. Think of you.
Which horror franchise has the most movies, the most sequels in their franchise? Saw, Halloween, or C, Puppet Master? K.
Let me do the math. So we got because we already know what Saw.
And don't Google.
Then we have Saw X was like the last one, so that's already 10. So we got Halloween, we got Halloween 2, we got Halloween 3. That I like the little song, but nobody watched that movie. Then we got like the Curse of Mike Myers and the other one with the little girl. That's 5. Then we got H2O. Oh, the Curse of Mike Myers. Resurrection. Then we got the Rob Zombie movies. That's 2. I'm gonna say Halloween because then we had like the 3 that came after that when Jamie Lee Curtis came back.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect, ma'am. It is Puppet Master.
Puppet Master has like a gazillion movies, Kay.
Yes.
Where did Puppet Master get that many movies?
Yes.
Like, a new Puppet Master drop every year, I swear.
Yeah.
Who's still watching? I ain't seen no Puppet Master movie since the 90s.
Well, they been coming out. You just ain't been
Where on
watching
Tubi?
They're on Tubi.
Don't nobody watch them bootleg Puppet Master movies. Are they even called Puppet Master? How y'all know?
I see them, I don't watch them.
What was the original name of Halloween? Was it A, The Babysitter Murders, B, Pumpkin Season, or C, Night Stalker? Brandon.
Why you ain't give me that one?
It's the correct answer is A, The Babysitter Murders.
That
Brandon
is-
long off.
I'm a trivia nut, so
Tyra.
Do it, though. You better get that out. Oh, you better get that out of my face. You gonna come to me with a second scream question? You better get that out of my face. You can ask me that's the franchise I watch the least, dislike the most. This is strategic. I've been thrown out of better places than this. I'll try. Go ahead. Read your question.
What are Randy's 3 rules to survive a horror movie?
Never go anywhere alone. Never say I'll be right back. I don't know.
All you do is watch
don't have any
Randy's
sex.
Family.
Don't have any sex. There you go.
There you go.
I barely
I
made
said
it.
3. That was 2.
Said don't go anywhere alone. Never say I'll be right back, and don't have sex.
Is that your final answer?
That's all I got. Is it?
You are incorrect, ma'am.
You know what?
You can't have sex. You forgot that one. You can't do drugs, drink alcohol, say I'll be right back.
Did I not just say you can't have sex? Did I not just say that out of my mouth?
You forgot the drugs and alcohol.
yeah, you forgot the drugs and
Exactly.
alcohol.
What does that have to do with anything?
You can't be
That's
inebriated
Randy's
and
rule.
survive.
So he never said don't go anywhere alone.
Nope, he did not. He said, don't say I'll be right back.
You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna say that and not come back. You give me another screenplay. I hate that franchise. Don't do this anymore.
Okay, finish the sentence. When there
Walk
is
the
no
earth.
more room in hell, the dead will.
Walk the earth.
That is correct, ma'am. Look at Tyra.
The easiest question I've ever seen.
Where's my Tumblr?
Brandon, what do the big chested girls in horror movies do that offend Sydney?
Scream again,
Oh, scream question.
right?
Oh, they always go up the stairs instead of walking out the front door.
See, I know what you're doing. You try to pretend like you ain't know. That is that is correct.
Terrible.
Run up the stairs. See, I didn't give you the scream question, Tyra.
Thanks.
Tyra, in Hellraiser, what did Frank tell Christy Jesus did?
Child Jesus wept on a
There
Sunday.
you go.
I know that. Thank you so much. This is my era. One of my favorite horrors. Thank you so much. Taking pity on a young girl.
K, which famous actor died after having sex in Friday the 13th? Was it Kevin Bacon, Will Smith, or Donald Sutherland?
I know you ain't thinking about this.
Was Kevin Bacon in the first Friday the 13th?
I don't know. You tell me.
No, it was Will Smith.
Who is Donald Sutherland?
Oh,
I
told me
know
to have a horror panel, but
I know faces, not names.
An
Get the
amazing
hell off the
Canadian
panel saying
actor.
who is Donald
Kiefer's
Sutherland.
daddy.
Who?
Kiefer Sutherland's daddy.
The Lost Boys?
The lead vampire in Lost Boys.
You running out of time, Kay. This about to
Really?
be a long
I'm not,
answer.
he wouldn't have been young enough then. So I don't know. Kevin Bacon? Because he would have
Wow,
been
the fact you had to think about it and you said this is your favorite franchise.
Exactly.
Look,
That is correct, Kay. But
I start from Friday the 13th, the beginning. Okay.
Wow.
And then go on down.
False fan. Who is Donald Sutherland? Kay, don't you ever say that in public again.
I know faces, not names. Show me the photo, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I know that's old boy from that movie."
Kay, you about to get hate mail.
She
Like,
here.
don't disrespect Donald Sutherland like that.
Look at them in my chat. They're going on.
But don't nobody know Donald Sutherland. We know Kiefer.
I know
Donald is one of my favorite actors.
exactly.
He just died too, Kay. You're terrible.
Exactly.
Beyonce said that one dude from that movie. Give me the face. I don't do well with names.
Oh,
Put pictures up here next time to the names.
don't put a picture in sight. Sweet.
Oh my God. I'm dying. What is the most successful horror franchise? Is it A, Saw, B, Halloween, or C, A Nightmare on Elm Street? Brandon.
Successful, like box
Box
office?
Box office.
Oh,
I know which one wasn't.
What you said, Kay?
I said I know which one wasn't.
yeah. Oh, this is a hard one.
I know which one.
Oh,
the-
are we finally tripping up, Brandon?
I know what it is.
The most successful horror franchise. I'm gonna go with A, Saw.
Brandon, get the hell out of here. Now, see, you keep fronting like you don't know.
It was a toss up between Saw and Halloween because I figure Halloween has more movies, but I know through I think it was like 4, 5, and 6, their box office like dropped significantly low. And Saw,
It is so.
yeah, Saw made a movie every year.
Nikki, you have some wonderful super chats here.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tony Movie Chappie, D9. Thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. The first Alien versus Predator sucked. And hot take, I actually prefer Aliens versus Predator Requiem over the first one. Not saying that the Strauss brothers are better directors than Paul Wes Anderson, but overall a better film.
It was. Thank you, Tony. Say it for Kay.
Kay, do you agree with Tony Movie?
Don't nobody watch Alien versus Predator Requiem. Don't nobody even watch that one. No. See, he only wanted us to see this comment. He had to put a little. He wanted us to make sure we saw that because nobody else in the world thinks that ever. He is in that category by himself.
That is definitely a hot take, Tony, because I hate Requiem. I hate that one. Like, you cannot pay me to watch that movie. I actually like AVP. Shout out to Sanaa Lathan for being one of our few Black final girls. Another super chat from Tony Movie. Tony Movie coming through with the big money, $9.99 super chat. Thank you. It's correct. Some of the wrong of the first one, and it's a hard R, and it pretty much in the realm of Freddy versus Jason, a straight up slasher film. And would you like to see a full on reboot of Alien versus Predator? I would love a reboot of Alien versus Predator and bring back Sanaa Lathan as well. What about you, Tyra? You want to see a full reboot of Alien versus Predator?
I would. Y'all could leave Sanaa where she at, but I would love to.
I don't want to see it if she ain't in it. Then if she ain't in it, don't even make it. Don't even make it. Then
All right.
Thank you so much, Tony Movie, for the love in the chat. And
girl
of course, if you would like for your comment to get priority, hit that super chat and make sure you support the content. Now, who did I leave off on? I know who I'm gonna give this question to. The person who needs me to throw them a little crumb. Tyra.
This is
Which horror villain has the highest kill count? Is it A, Pinhead, B, Jason, or C, Michael Myers?
They've killed a lot of people. Like all of them here have killed a lot of people.
Oh, I know which one that is.
Go with Pinhead just for Hellraiser 3 in that club scene. That was a lot of people.
You are absolutely correct. It is Pinhead.
I don't play.
When I'm
given something to work with, I don't play. Thank you so much.
Momai, what's the Sanaa beef about? Yeah, Tyra.
I didn't enjoy her as a final girl. I didn't think it was believable. I love Sanaa, but just not in that movie.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Tyra don't know what she's talking about. Horror villain with the lowest kill count. Brandon, is it A, Art the Clown, Chucky, or Jigsaw?
I mean, Art the Clown is so new. And does Jigsaw actually kill his victims? Because they kind of end up sacrificing themselves. There's
tricky, Brandon. I see what's happening.
Yeah. And Chucky doesn't get that many kills per movie, but I think Chucky's right out the door there. I think he's had a whole TV series of killing people. So
only the movies, not the TV show.
Oh, okay. Still, even the movies, it's about 5 or 6 a movie. Oh.
I'm not playing with you, Brandon. We know you finna give us the correct answer.
I don't know this one. I'm just gonna go on a limb and I'm going with Art the Clown, I guess.
That is incorrect.
It's
Somebody
Jigsaw,
ring a bell. Throw the confetti. Brandon got something wrong. It is Chucky. Chucky has a very low kill count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chucky kills like 2 people per movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Art's only had 2 movies? I think he only got like 3 people, 4 maybe. Oh no, I guess he got like 8.
Art, you know that second one when there's that dream sequence and Art kills all those people at that little child function.
Yeah, Art is wrecking shop.
Does that count though? It's a dream.
It's a kill.
All right.
Kay, what is the bloodiest horror movie of all time? Terrifier, Evil Dead 2013, or Day of the Dead 1985?
I'm gonna strike out Evil Dead.
Why you put my comment on the screen?
Day of the Dead. I'm just trying to think about the graphics at that time for a zombie movie. Versus Terrifier ripping people's skin off.
This shouldn't even be a question, Kay.
So I'm gonna go with Terrifier.
Kay getting her black card revolt. She getting her horror card revolt. It is Evil Dead 2013, man.
How? All that blood, it was literally raining blood, Kay.
They literally are in the world record for the most blood. And actually, before Evil Dead, Day of the Dead 1985 was the goriest horror movie.
You said okay. I would have put Evil Dead in the form of
you wouldn't have put
gore and blood. That's 2 different things. Now that's different.
The question is bloodiness, but I was just saying Day of the Dead was known as the goriest. But
I'm
the
thinking
answer
about
is
kills. I ain't talking about the blood rain.
You know what Kay was doing.
You ain't got to kill nobody to do that.
I didn't say kill. I said bloodiest. I didn't say nothing about kill.
That was a
Look,
trick
don't
question.
make excuses for your failure.
That was a trick question. You should have said the bloodiest, but not actually in the death part.
Tyra,
Yes.
if you and your friends survive a fatal accident and death comes back around, is it possible to outsmart death?
No.
That is correct.
It always comes back around every single film.
That was actually pretty fun. And you know what? I didn't really want to do horror trivia. I was like, what the hell? But that was fun.
Thank you.
Next time I want my Tumblr. as a prize.
Okay, you're not getting nothing but second place, second best. You don't even get the Tumblr. Now we are talking. Let me get my cheeks thing. Oh, my cheeks hurt them. Oh, and baby, we got a super chat for Miss Tyra. Thank you so much, Daisy, for showing support. Tyra, you want to read your super chat?
I can't believe Tyra is losing. Study next time. Look at here. We don't get these questions beforehand. We are answering them on the fly like everybody else. I was on the money for everything except for Scream, and I missed 2 questions in the other game. Leave me alone, Dane.
You ain't gonna play them your song for the super chats. They done gave you some money today.
Oh, you know what? Y'all know my brain is decrepit. My mama did not.
I'm trying to help them out. They throwing you some points today.
Y'all know, breastfeed your kids, because if not, their brain get messed up like mine. Thank y'all so much for the super chat. I'm rich, bitch. Okay, so let me get myself together. My cheeks hurting. I was laughing so hard in them last 2 segments, child. I'm rich. Thank you for the super chat, babes. We are talking bad horror today and all the things that we don't like and that makes horror, not good. And of course, we have people who feel like there is never a bad movie. There is no such thing as a bad movie. There's an audience for everything. Brandon, how do you feel? Do you think a movie is ever actually bad?
I think a movie cannot be for you. It's hard. Because like a movie that I might like, you might not. Like Army of Darkness and Tremors are a couple of my favorite movies, and I know there's quite a fan base that absolutely do not like those movies. So do I think a movie is ever truly bad? Sometimes, like you get the odd one. Like I think Night Swim was terrible. That movie was just straight up awful in my opinion. It lacked tension, story, anything, creativity. But there might be an audience for that, and I can't blame anybody for liking it. It just all depends on what your cup of tea is, really.
Tyra?
Of course. A lot of movies are bad. Like all of that, this just wasn't your movie. Or that question goes right over there with the people. Well, if you didn't like it, you just didn't get the horror. You didn't get the concept. No, it was bad. It was bad. And I don't care. There are a ton of horror movies that are just simply bad. There isn't an audience for them. Like they perform poorly. Like they're bad because of where they end up and how forgettable they are. There are some good movies. There are some in-betweeners, and there are just some that are just simply terrible. That there are some so bad, like you see the trailer, like, I'm not watching them. I'm not wasting my time. So there's most definitely some bad ones. Miss Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Horror. Oh,
I love that movie.
Whoa, which one? Part 1 sucked.
The first one. I hated the second one. I did a DNF on the second one. I did not finish.
Oh, I love the second one.
Blood and Honey.
No.
I laughed through that whole movie. It is hilarious. Hey, you messing with them guns? Like that movie is so hilarious. I love Blood and Honey. Kay, we know you like some bad movies.
First of all, the movies that I like are not bad, but there are some bad movies because I would like to get my memory readjusted and rewinded back after watching Splice and Bug. I want those erased from my mind.
With
Splice.
Ashley Judd?
Yeah, Spice is good.
And
Mm-mm.
Bug is good too.
No, Bug is good.
No, no, no.
But Kay like The Happening in Alien vs. Predator. I'm not listening to nothing Kay has to say about horror movies before. I'm not.
Now, I will say I went on a date to see Splice, and there was a terrible decision because we got to that weird sex scene, and I was so uncomfortable.
Why would you do that?
Exactly. That was unnecessary. Cause why? Why would y'all throw that in there?
That's
Why
such a
would y'all
cool
do that?
concept, Kay? I thought Splice was like hella creative. I haven't went back to watch it like since the first couple of times I've seen it, but
No,
I haven't seen anything else like it.
I want my time back.
Very cool creature design.
It was nice, very good creature design. I would love to see it again.
No.
I
And it
haven't
turns into
rewatched
a
it.
boy
I
at
should
the
see
end.
Splice.
Interesting.
It does it turn into a boy at the end?
It does.
Yes.
I thought it gave
Metamorphosis and goes from a woman to like a boy type of. It was. I'm gonna go watch it again just for bringing it up here.
Yeah, I need to go. I haven't seen it since that date when the movie came out, so maybe I should revisit it. I really can't remember if I liked the movie. I just remember I ain't never talked to that boy again. But one critique a lot of people have when it comes to horror movies is, oh, it wasn't scary. It wasn't even scary. It wasn't even scary. Kay, does horror need to be scary in order for it to be a good movie?
I mean, I would say it should have like scary elements, but not all of them have to be like completely horrifying. I would like to be scared, but when you get like your suspense, like thriller type movies, like Hide and Seek wasn't necessarily scary, but it was still really, really good. Just like a Sixth Sense wasn't necessarily scary. It had some like creepy tones in it, but it was still good. So I wouldn't say it had to be 100% scary, but just some kind of creepy elements would be wonderful.
Tyra?
No. And I'm gonna say that just for me. And I'm saying you too, because horror doesn't scare us. So you're just there, like along for the ride. A lot of the things that scare me are unsettling, and it's hard to do that with horror. Like, and I know you was laughing when you saw the baby that I put on my thumbnail from Train Fighting. But those are the things that are like unsettling to me, like the baby scene in Train Spotting, or Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, like just unsettling, like weird characters. Those are the things that stick out in my mind, or just like the circumstances in Old Boy at the end of the movie. Like those are the things that bother me and get under my skin. And then so if that's where I am for horror, like no, it doesn't have to be scary. It could be a billion other things and still be interesting.
Yeah, that's why it's always so funny to me when people feel negative about a horror because it's not scary. And I'm like, I personally have never thought a horror movie was scary, even as a kid watching horror movies. But it's kind of like you said, Tyra, I'm along for the ride, and I can be disturbed, uncomfortable, my nerves could be shot into a rut, but scary? No, I've never been scared. I've never had nightmares. But I love horror. But it's always interesting to me when people feel like horror has to be scary. And of course, we are going to get into our versus horror game. Let's see how Brendan fares, because there are no winners or losers, so everybody gonna win this time. But you pretty much just pick your favorite and why. Tyra, Constantine versus The Prophecy.
Yeah, I like me some Christopher Walken. But I really love, I really like Constantine. I feel like Constantine is so underrated. I gotta go with Constantine. Constantine has, along with one of the better performances from Keanu Reeves and just all the creature design and dimension we get there, it has one of my favorite portrayals of like the demonic devil versus angel type of entities, or just the dynamic we get at the end. So I'm gonna go with Constantine.
Okay.
Oh, no comparison. Constantine all the way. I watch that movie all the time. all the time. Who's watching Prophecy on repeat?
Excuse me. Prophecy is if y'all don't get off my 90s horror, Prophecy is a classic. That movie is amazing. I gotta rethink the people I associate with. Brandon.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I've actually never seen The Prophecy.
Hmm.
So this is a pretty easy pick for me. I'm also going with Constantine. I think you got some very cool looking demons. You got that introductory exorcism scene, which I thought was very unique, where he traps the demon in the mirror and then throws the mirror out the window and smashes it. A very cool portrayal of what hell would look like as well. It's just basically a burnt over world where these demons roll free. Constantine's very good in it, Keanu Reeves, and I think you get one of the best portrayals of the devil. I can't remember what his name is at the end of the movie there, but I think he is fantastic at playing Satan.
Yeah, excuse me. I did love how hell looked, but y'all got to put some respect on The Prophecy, okay? That movie is amazing. Little 6-year-old me and my mama watching The Prophecy, child. Tyra, Pet Cemetery versus Cujo.
Why? You know, it's my era. No fair. No fair. I don't want to play. No fair. Because you know, I get heart palpitations for the baby dying of thirst in that car. Like, I want my daddy. What is that little ridiculous no in the street when Gage gets hit by that back truck? Like, yeah, why would you do this? This is so unfair. Oh God. I guess I'm gonna go for just rewatch since I just can't make a decision. And Cujo does have a really slow start, really leaning just strictly into that affair. So I'm gonna go with Pet Cemetery.
Tyra, you about to have a stroke.
I was like, no.
Tiger Lily, what is the one with the big bug wearing a trench coat? That is Mimic. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm telling y'all,
Mimic.
90s was a great era for horror. I watched Mimic on VHS.
Mimic's good. Another one where Charles dies.
Y'all know Charles S. Dutton is a resident sacrificial Negro in every horror he plays. But yes, you know what? We need to do a whole KillerCon on 90s horror. I'm gonna give Brandon a whole list so he can get into 90s horror and bring him back, because I'm telling y'all, 90s was a time.
I know. I'm with it.
Which one is coming out on top?
I'm gonna go with Pet Cemetery, simply because of that scene with Gage. Because of that, I will never live near a road. off the strength of Gage. And when I see the houses that's like near busy roads, I'm like, how? Y'all didn't watch Pet Cemetery? How you doing that?
Brandon.
Again, I have not seen one of these movies, and I know.
Stephen King, this is blasphemy. Blasphemy.
I know.
This you bring it to the fold, Nikki, huh? This is the people you bringing around us.
Blasphemous.
So I have Cujo upstairs ready to watch, and I just have not gotten to it. I have it; it's ready. It's the only one I've avoided watching. I haven't avoided watching. I just haven't gotten to it. But I'm gonna have to go.
Give you too much crap for Cujo because I don't like Stephen King, and I only just saw Cujo for the first time this year because Tyra pushed me to see it. So I can't give you too much crap for Cujo.
And you loved it.
I did.
I'm very excited to see it. Actually, it's been one that I've been wanting to watch for a very long time, but haven't.
Some of the best acting you will see in a horror film from that era. It's really good.
Dee Wallace is in it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's fantastic in everything she's in. So.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to go with Pet Cemetery. This is one of the first horror movies I watched as a kid, and it gave me fucking nightmares. I remember watching it on the Sci-Fi Channel. You got the sister. The camera. Yeah. Oh, pure nightmare fuel to me as a child. Pure nightmare fuel. And of course, you got the incredible scene where Gage gets hit by the truck, which is incredibly sad and haunting and felt very real. You got Pascal, who is funny yet can feel scary at times as well. But yeah, I really do this. Judd, you got Judd. you know, dead is better.
That is better. Better.
My least favorite genre, found footage. Tyra, you usually into your Korean. Have you seen Haunted Asylum?
Yes, I have.
So which one is coming out on top?
I gotta go with Rec. I have to go with Rec. Rec is something that is one of the few like found footage that I revisit, and it has a lot of like rewatch quality. It's just really good to like like nobody's making it out, but you want somebody to every single time you watch it. So I'm gonna go with Rec.
Kay.
Oh yeah, Rick. I mean that's like, you know, I'm trying to think with the movie Wreck. Did that movie get made and they called it Quarantine?
Yes, they did. Because you know America loved to remake a foreign film.
Yeah, because I had to go back and when I saw this movie Wreck, I was like, that sounds like Quarantine. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. It's just but I do like the concept of the movie. So yeah, I like Wreck. And I like Quarantine too.
I have not seen one of these movies. This is real bad. I think I should have seen all of these movies, but I have not seen The Haunted Asylum. So I'm going with Rec. I think Rec is a great zombie movie. I think it's a lot of it's very gory, it's scary, it feels very real. Yeah, I loved it. I think Rec is great.
Yes, and why I don't know why America keep remaking stuff and not doing it better, because now they got Speak No Evil they're remaking. I'm gonna start with you, Tyra, because this is your error. Scanners versus Invasion of the Body Snatchers, starring Donald Sutherland.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of my top 5 horrors. I'm always going to pick that. I don't care what you put next to it. I'm going to pick it every single time. It is phenomenal. I rewatch Invasion of the Body Snatchers at least once or twice a year, and I love it the same every single year. It's one of my faves. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Scanners. I love that head exploding. It is iconic, but Invasion of the Body Snatchers has me in a chokehold my whole life. Like, that movie is pretty perfect from top to bottom. Brandon, have you seen these two?
I started Scanners and I ended up shutting it off due to I was busy. And I have not seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I think I'm going to sit this one out.
Brandon, you gonna burn in hell.
I watched
Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I watched Invasion with Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, The Faculty is one of my favorite, Invasion of the Body Snatcher type
when
movies.
you watch this, you'll appreciate those movies even more because this is amazing. Brandon, please watch this before you watch Cujo, please.
Okay. Yeah. I can actually go over here and see it. Like, I just haven't gone to watching it.
I don't know what Brandon doing with his life. He going nowhere fast.
Brandon watching those 90s and 2000s because he's excelled in the question situation. So I think Brandon just kind of sticks to a certain era, maybe, or that he grew up with.
Okay.
Although I appreciate the scene that you were talking about in Scan. See, I know who that man is. I just don't know people's names. Okay.
Michael
I do appreciate that head popping scene, but yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that's like classic horror right there.
Kai stories. You talking about Brandon trying. Brandon trying.
I'm trying.
Thank you, Kai.
We found one game where Brandon getting his head knocked off. the game where you can't lose. He losing. Okay, The Shining versus Rosemary's Baby.
The Shining.
Yes, every time.
Yep.
I guess we know
it's just more fun.
Yeah, you went through my Rolodex. You know, The Shining is another one of my top 5s. It's in there with Invasion of the Body Snatcher. And I love, Rosemary. What have you done to its eyes? Rosemary's Baby is like classic and has been, borrowed and bit off of time and time again. And it's up there, but I go back to The Shining every year. It's one of my faves. You gonna skip Brandon? Give Brandon a chance.
Look, I don't want to embarrass Brandon anymore.
I have seen those movies.
Oh, you have?
Of course.
Yeah. Look, I was trying to spare you the tomatoes, okay?
No,
which one coming out on top, Brandon?
I'm actually gonna go with Rosemary's Baby.
Oh.
Yeah, something different from Tyra and Kay.
Brandon's an op. He's an op. It's fine.
I really like that story. I like seeing the transformation from how Rosemary starts to how she finishes. And it's almost like gaslighting Rosemary throughout the entire movie,
Yeah.
which is sad. It's very hard to watch, but I really like that movie. I haven't seen The Shining in years, to be honest.
No, they
I hate
gaslit
The
Shelley
Shining.
Duvall in real life for The Shining. Terrified that lady. R.I.P. to her. She just recently passed too.
She did. Kay, Donnie Darko versus Shutter Island.
Mute K.
Shutter Island all day. All day.
We got Nadia in the chat. Hey, Nadia.
Hello.
With Donnie Darko. Tyra.
Phew. I'm gonna go with Donnie Darko just because I don't like movies when I like Shutter Island, but I don't like when I guess the plot before it's time for us to do it. And I guess pretty much what was going on early on the first time I watched Shutter Island, so that kind of soured it for me. Even though it's really interesting but it is a long time to sit to know what's going on. So and Donnie Darko is really classic. Like I haven't watched it in a while, but you see it that one time and it stays with you for the rest of your life. I'm gonna go with Donnie Darko.
Brandon.
This is a hard one because they're kind of vastly different movies. Donnie Darko is just so complicated, whereas Shutter Island, like you said, Tyra, you can guess what's happening by the middle of the movie. Both good movies, both solid acting all around. I think I'm gonna go with Donnie Darko too, because it is a movie that's gonna last with you longer and kind of it's gonna keep you thinking about it more than what I think Shutter Island would.
And then we are going with werewolves. Brandon, American Werewolf in London versus Ginger Snaps.
Well, if I didn't go with Ginger Snaps, my wife would have my head by the time that this is done. It's a Canadian movie as well, so shout out. Both actresses are fantastic. You want to talk about a real feel for sisters, and it's funny. And the werewolf transformation, it's slimy, it's weird, it's not even hairy, it's almost like a hairless dog by the end of the movie. Yeah, just generally great movie, great Canadian film. I love it.
Okay.
Silver Bullet.
Can't go away.
That is not an option, Kay.
Because how dare you put Ginger Snaps before Silver Bullet? So just because of that, American Werewolf in London.
Tara.
Though I enjoy Ginger Snaps immensely, in American Werewolf in London every time, that werewolf transformation is iconic. I don't care how many years go by and who tops. Maybe The Howling gets pretty close, but it's top tier. Like, and it's a pretty good film overall. And we get that bleak ending. Then you have the best friend rolling up deader and deader every time it's good. And Ginger Snaps is cool, but in American Werewolf in London. And shout out to Ginger Snaps, a predecessor to Jennifer's Body.
Yeah, you said my movie, The Howling. When I was a kid, I played The Howling out. You hear me? I watched that movie so much. Oh my God. I love The Howling.
Me too. I love that guy standing over the file cabinet. Like, this your file? That's what you're looking for?
2013 Evil Dead versus the worst movie on the planet, Cabin Fever. Tyra.
Oh, Evil Dead. I love me some gore. So Eli Roth and his writing is going to forever be questionable as hell. But I do love, we get some titties, we get some nudity, which I always love. Also, we get that shaving scene and just the decrepitness of it all. It's a lot of carnage in there, but Evil Dead gives you that along with being a really good movie. So I'm gonna go with Evil Dead.
Brandon.
Well, I am a Deadite in Evil Dead 2013 all the way. I remember the hype for this movie when it came out to theaters was unreal. I think it's a great remake. So much blood and gore, and it's got some dark humor to it as well. It's not totally serious. Some of the best gore scenes I think I've ever seen, with Mia cutting her tongue down the middle and the sawing off her arm, and yeah, just some of the best. I love it. I love also the misdirect. You were supposed to have, you think the one guy was going to be the new Ash, and then it turns out to be Mia at the end of the movie. I thought it was a great. And Cabin Fever fucking sucks.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. I'm gonna rip your soul out, Daddy. K.
So y'all just gonna disrespect Cabin Fever like that?
We can always count on K to not have good taste, child.
I can't believe y'all talk about Cabin Fever like this. This is what? Cabin Fever? Are y'all serious right now?
But
Cabin
see, I
Fever
put
is not
Cabin
aged
Fever
well.
up here because everyone praises Cabin Fever in the horror community. That's why I put it here. But I hate that movie.
Oh yes, I'm giving it.
And
to
see,
Cabin
I like
Fever.
Brandon. He got some shit.
I
Cabin
thought
Fever is
everybody
terrible.
loved this movie. I don't know. Y'all different.
Which one you got, Kay?
Oh, Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
I mean, I like Evil Dead, but y'all, come on now, Cabin Fever. Y'all playing. I don't even believe y'all at this point.
We can't do nothing but pray for Kay.
Okay.
And getting into horror TV shows. Tyra, did you see Lovecraft Country?
Girl, of course.
Did you see the Exorcist series?
Some of it.
Which one is coming out on top?
The Black people. Hello. Lovecraft Country was amazing. Like, it's so layered. The fact that I started The Exorcist and I was like, oh, this is intriguing. And I saw it's something that I had to do something that following week. And I never returned to it. Like, I could never, when Lovecraft Country was out, we were locked in. We were not missing an episode. Like, Lovecraft Country was really, really good.
Okay.
If you compare Lovecraft Country to anything at this point, it's gonna be Lovecraft Country. I don't even want that compared to anything because I'm gonna choose that every time. That's like that. You can't even compare that to anything else. There's no verses with that. Lovecraft just gonna come off on top every single time. Nothing about that.
I will say, I think the Exorcist series was very underrated. That series was actually, the first season was amazing. The second season was good, but they kind of lost it. But that first season was a masterpiece. But Lovecraft Country, oh my God. Some
Top
of the
tier.
best, just I will never get over Michael K. Williams in the scene where he was talking about being a kid during the Tulsa riots. When I tell you, I done spent my life watching movies, and that had to be some of the best acting. The way I was crying watching, like the way I believed that he was really there, like that. It is such a travesty to humanity that show was canceled. Brandon, did you see the Exorcist series?
I saw the first season, I believe. I started the second one, but I didn't get into it at all.
Yeah, that second season kind of fell off. Did you see Lovecraft Country?
I think I only watched a couple episodes. I don't know why I didn't finish it or what happened. TV is usually pretty hard for me to get into. So if I had to go with one, I'd probably say The Exorcist. Just because
that first season was great.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was pretty intriguing that they were setting up for the season 2. Like, they were having like this whole hierarchy of demons that are infected, like the government and the 1% and stuff. And basically, you had these two rebel priests that were like basically Sam and Dean from Supernatural that were going to go and topple over this conspiracy that they had going on. But I don't even think they really touched base on that in season 2. So, yeah, I'll go with The Exorcist, I guess.
Okay. And getting into classic, amazing, shut the hell up, Tyra, I don't want to hear your mouth. 90s horror movies, creature features, Mimic versus Deep Rising. Tyra.
Mimic. Why is it even up here together? Okay, let me not do that. Deep Rising it's okay.
Tyra, don't be a hater.
Mimic is a really good film. Mimic is a really good film, and I love the creature design. It's really great. I have watched Mimic like a lot. I have never took the time to revisit Deep Rising, so I'm gonna go with Mimic off the strength of that alone. And I love Mimic. The gore, them smothering the bus and their bodies all in the pus, and it was just great. Just the design of the creatures were great, and just the movie overall. It's a really really good movie. I can't say that I have the same sentiments towards Deep Rising.
You need to go rewatch Deep Rising, Tyra.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I feel like I rewatch that movie like every year of my life. I love
the same thing about The Abyss. And I went and rewatched The Abyss for you, and I was pissed.
Nah, I didn't tell you to rewatch The Abyss.
One of y'all on the panel told me to.
Talk to them. Brandon.
I'm gonna go with Mimic. I haven't seen Deep Rising, but Mimic is a fantastic movie. Amazing creature designs. Guillermo del Toro knows how to make a beautiful looking film. Amazing creature effects, good characters as well, which is something that you almost wouldn't expect from a movie like this, and a very interesting story too.
And see, this is what I mean. This is the type of movies I grew up on, and I don't understand why we don't have good characters. It's like writers don't know how to write characters anymore. Like I liked everybody in Mimic. Kay.
Definitely Mimic.
Why y'all being haters to Deep Rising?
You should have put something else over there.
Don't put it versus Mimic.
Well, they're both creature features.
Yeah. But one's forgettable and one's not.
You know what? I'm gonna be outside your door, Tyra.
I'll be waiting. Bring me some food. Oh my gosh, why would you do this?
The Fly versus Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Brandon.
So you're gonna make me pick between these two? Like for
yes,
real?
Absolutely.
Oh boy. You got one of the greatest body horror films of all time compared to the greatest slasher of all time. Toby Hooper, David Cronenberg, like Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis, like oh boy, oh,
not even slasher versus slasher. Why would you do this?
Yeah, it's two vastly different movies, both prime in their subgenre. Oh,
you know, I like to be like Pinhead. I like exquisite pain that y'all are in.
Oh, this is real.
Yes, it is.
I think I'm gonna go with The Fly. And I'm gonna go with The Fly because it's more of a it's got a level of drama to it along with the horror. You get a lot of character development throughout the film. And very touchy subject matter for the time with AIDS. Abortion was even in it as well. So it's got to be The Fly. I can't. And talk about like body horror galore, nails ripping out, hair, teeth. It's everything you want in a body horror movie.
Okay.
Yes, definitely The Fly, because I mean, Jeff Goldblum in this was just amazing. This movie, for some reason, was just very, I don't know. I was just intrigued by The Fly. I mean, I do, I love some Leatherface and whatnot, but it's just something about the storytelling of The Fly. I don't know. And it's so 80s. That's my genre. That's my era right there.
Yes, all of the body horror in The Fly is the stuff I live for. But what I like about The Fly is it's not just body horror. Like there's a heart to it. Like I actually felt real sad for Jeff Goldblum at the end. Like I was like, oh baby, Tyra.
This is hard. Now I have a soft spot for my grimy grindhouse. It looks like the movie Stank, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, made on a budget. Just disgusting, sweaty, just oh. I'm so mad at you for this. The But the flaw is really special for me because I love body horror, and it was this and Hellraiser that made me go, "Oh, this is some of my favorite type of horror," and it made me really dive into the body horror genre just based off of those two films. And then I always had a little crush on Jeff, so
Don't
and then
we all?
right. And then, like you guys said, like the story is just really, really compelling. It just has so much heart and so much depth that you're just not going to get, with something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And no matter how many times you watch it, you just really want Jeff to like, just take him out of his misery, girl. Like it's sad, it's touching, it's very touching and gross at the same time.
Okay, Stir of Echoes versus The Sixth Sense. And I feel like it's so crazy. Both of these came out the same year. And I feel like Sixth Sense really overshadowed Stir of Echoes. But Stir of Echoes, y'all need to put some respect on Stir of Echoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. That's what's like, why would you do this? Because I really enjoyed Stir of Echoes. I like Kevin Bacon in the horror genre. I really like Stir of Echoes. And I actually didn't even know they came out around the same time. But I guess when you watch horror, everything is like in the same, bowl for me. But although I like Stir of Echoes is really underrated. I might have to do a review about that one. But I'm gonna have to give it to Sixth Sense because I don't know. I like the little psychic boy.
Brandon.
This is another really hard one for me because I grew up catching bits and pieces of like Stir of Echoes on TV when I was little and then forgetting what the movie was called altogether and then refinding it years later. And then I revisit like every 2 years now. The Sixth Sense, I don't really revisit too often, but it's incredibly well acted. The twist is phenomenal. Oh, the score is good, and you got Toni Collette's like just top tier level acting in that final scene. And you got who's the other Mark Wahlberger?
Oh, Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, Donnie in the beginning, unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I got to go with The Sixth Sense too. I love Stir of Echoes, and I'm a huge Kevin Bacon fan, but The Sixth Sense takes it for me.
Tyra.
Oh, it's no competition. It's The Sixth Sense, and I'm not putting any respect on Stir of Echoes, but I put The Sixth Sense up there with the others. Like, it doesn't have a lot of rewatch quality because once you know the twist, it's like, well, I'll watch it again or too often. But when you go into it for the first time and you really don't know that Bruce Willis is a ghost, it's like, oh hell, like it's really groundbreaking when you get to watch it for the first time, and I can't say that for Stir of Echoes.
Oh Jesus! Okay, that didn't sound like respect to me. But that was our horror versus horror. And to cap everything off, what draws you to the horror genre, Kay?
I don't even know. I feel like it's just been a part of my life like forever. Like I don't know life before without horror. It's just that. I don't know if it's in some of the movies like the storytelling. I don't know if the adrenaline of it all, just being able to the feeling of suspense, or maybe I just wanted to be scared as a child. I have no idea, but I love Halloween. I love horror, so everything about it, all of it.
Brandon.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I've grown up with horror. Some of it's a lot of fun, some of it's pretty terrifying, but I guess I'm always trying to find that next movie that's going to scare me, I guess. And it's been a very long time since I've had anything like that happen, but I'm going to keep hunting it out and see if I can find something eventually.
Yeah, horror is so close to my heart because I grew up with a single parent, and if you grow up with a single parent, y'all do everything together. That's your buddy. My mother was my whole world, and she is a horror girl. I remember her telling me about seeing John Carpenter's The Thing in theaters when she was like 16. And I always wonder, would I have been into horror if I didn't grow up with my mother? And I think I probably would have, but I feel like, hey, my whole life has been horror. And I love this genre so much. Good, bad, no horror slander shall prosper. Okay? I mean, Tyra.
Pretty much the same thing you guys said, but horror is fun. It's unpredictable. With every other genre, majority of the time you have to follow certain reality guidelines because somebody's going to say that would never happen in real life. You don't have to do that with horror. You can literally do whatever you want to do. It can go any type of way. So I love horror for that reason, just because it has so many dimensions and ways that you could go.
Absolutely. Horror can do whatever the hell we want to do. Thank you guys so much for being here with us for KillerCon episode 5. Can y'all believe I actually am sticking to a schedule? Because y'all know I get hives committing to anything, child. I will not commit to a man, but I am committed to bringing y'all this horror talk every Saturday, even though I hate a schedule. But y'all look, this is what I'm doing for y'all. Thank y'all so much for showing up. Thank you to my panelists for showing up. Thank you, Brandon. It was so fun having you on for the first time. And I am going to give these lovely, lovely content creators the floor so you can tell us what you have going on, where the people can find you. I'm going to start with you, Kay.
Is Kay frozen?
Oops. Okay, we have lost Kay. So I am going to go to
me. Hello, you guys. You already know what it is. It's Tyra. Thank you guys for being as active as you were in the chat today, and thank you for supporting us in everything that we're trying to do here. What I have coming up tomorrow, we will be myself, Kay, Nikki, Ashley, D Movie Man. We will be reflecting and reviewing episode 3 of Lady in the Lake. Of course, Tuesdays are Interview with the Vampire Tuesdays, where we are going back and recapping season 1. Do not miss that. That's going to be really, really interesting. We have some fun stuff coming up with that. And just be on the lookout for any videos in the future that I will be dropping, and just support me in everything I'm trying to do. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tyra and Brandon. Our life in horror. I am going to give you the floor.
Hi, I'm Brendan, and let me see. We do movie reviews. I do a lot of physical media stuff. I'm going to be having a physical media discussion on Tuesday with a couple, one good friend and hopefully a new friend coming up. Trying to think. We're just kind of all over the map right now. We're trying to get our footing on what exactly we want to do, totally. But we just got ourselves a new studio space, so we're going to start taking advantage of that. And yeah, just go over there to hit like. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, that's about all.
And of course, like Tyra said, I will be with her live tomorrow, as well as Kay, as well as Ashley from My Sweet Perspective. We are going over the Apple TV series Lady in the Lake, and I will have my Long Legs review up next week, as well as we did our watch along of Deep Blue Sea for members, and we did our watch along of the new Bad Boys movie that just came to streaming, and it was for members, but I had a lot of people asking, so that watch along is currently public for everyone, and we will be continuing our Bad Boys watch along next week, so make sure you are looking out for that. And we have Miss K. Miss K, why don't you tell the people and the blurs and the nerds what you have going on?
Yes, please. Come on, blurs, nerds, nerdy people who like horror, sci-fi, superhero stuff. I watch a lot of different things. So come over to my channel. You'll never be bored. You always have something to watch. Just released a review for what is it? Deadpool and Wolverine. Of course, Saturdays horror panel, Mondays, House of Dragon, Tuesdays, Interview of the Vampire, Sundays, Lady in the Lake. And Friday, we'll be doing a live for the best horror movie openings. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Hit subscribe.
And thank you everyone for showing up for being here for our live, for our KillerCon, and we will see you next Saturday, and a Saturday after that, and a Saturday after that, okay? Because I'm sticking to a schedule. Thank you.
Goodbye.